And I want to point out the food's over in the corner over here, tacos, wine back there for purchase. And there's tip jars. Well, no, not tip jars, sorry. They're donation jars so we can help pay for those yummy tacos. Also, there are QR codes on some of the table. We've got very discounted. Okay, how's that? Sorry. I'm not used to this. So we have very discounted merch over there. We've got shirts. We've got all sorts of stuff. Our speaker's going to start at 6:45. So I have a few things to go over. We have postcards that we're writing to the people in California. And we're letting them know, hey, Texas really wants to help you out. Vote yes on Prop 50. And we've got them over there, and you can ask one of those lovely ladies over there. Raise your hands, ladies. Yay. Okay. We've got bundles. Some have stamps, some do not, but a lot of them do. There's labels, there's everything. And then also we've got, we've got voter guides sprinkled around all the tables. And these are on all the amendments that are coming up. There's 17 of them. Okay. Anything else? Okay, so pretty soon, there's one other thing I wanted to share with you guys. It's like 3 sentences, and I read it this morning, and it says, nothing can happen that is not positive. Even though it looks like it feels at the moment like a negative crisis, it isn't. The crisis throws you back, and when you're required to exhibit strength, it comes. And that's what we're doing. We are doing that. I see it at our Sunday protests, the protests that are over the highway, everything. And I really appreciate all of you guys coming. It looks like a full house. And if Veery Hawkins Brown would come up, there she is. And she is going to talk to you guys about election judge volunteers and all the other positions, poll watchers, everything. Okay, thanks, Veery. Just hold it down here because that's for the mic for that. Go ahead. Thanks.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Okay. My name is Veery Hawkins Brown, and I am the Dallas County presiding judge for the Central Count facility. So I will be overseeing all the tallying of the votes in November, along with the operations team of the county election office. So I'm here tonight briefly to let you know that we are in need of volunteers to be election clerks at the Central Election Office. Those dates are November 3rd, November 4th, November 11th, and we need clerks to help observe the balloting tallying process, to help adjudicate ballots that need to be cured, and to also validate any ballots that have write-in candidates on there. So we have several slots where I think my name and some of the information may have gone out in an email to you, where you can send me a note or call me and I can help find a spot for you to volunteer. But we need election clerks as well as some backup people in case the Republican Party shows up with a large contingency, which is what they did last year. And we were overwhelmed in Central Count. They would have 15 people every shift, and we would have 2 or 3. So there's a great need for staffing. But as well, out in all of your precincts, we need a lot of good poll watchers and election clerks and election judges. There's several legislative changes that have changed the processes this session, and so we need really, really good people out and about to help us make this a hopefully flawless election. The new director has been sworn in. He was supposed to start this week, but again, he's starting about a week before early voting. So there's a lot going on. But I'll be here at the end of the meeting if you'd like to come up and talk to me separately. Otherwise, my information will be circulated. And again, I'm looking for volunteers to help in Central Count in the balloting room on about 4 different days. And I really need some people who are night owls and want to work overnight on election night. Okay. The question from the floor was, if you've been an election judge and you've gone through training, is there additional training that you need to take? There is not specific additional training to be an election clerk. There is training if you want to be a poll watcher. There is new training you have to take to be a poll watcher, and you have to be appointed to one of the constitutional issues to be a poll watcher, or to a write-in candidate if you're representing somebody that's actually on the ballot. But you don't need specific training to be a clerk. The only thing you have to do is swear to do the best job, and you can't have your cell phone anywhere in the ballot tallying areas. So.
This is just downtown clerks, but otherwise judges and clerks do have to take additional training.
This is just for Central Count. Thank you for the clarification. But I'll be here afterwards, and you can come up and ask me other questions. One more question. The question is, why do we need this support? And as I said, the Republican Party staffs up their Central Count volunteers quite heavily. And there are a lot of restrictions on what you're able to do or what you're allowed to do in the ballot counting room. So we need eyes from Democrats on a lot of Republicans to make sure, because they all come in thinking that we have fraud. That's their starting point. And so we need people to be keeping an eye on what they're doing to make sure they're not disrupting the process or disrupting the county workers that are trying to do their jobs. So, all right. Well, thank you. It was nice to meet you. I look forward to seeing more of you again soon.
Thank you, Bree. Thank you for all you do. Okay, reading glasses. I'm Jennifer Owen of Fed. Thanks for coming out tonight. And I have the honor of introducing Callie Butcher, our speaker tonight. I'm going to tell you 8 great things about Callie. She lives in my precinct and has been a block walk volunteer. She is an award-winning lawyer, named a Ones to Watch by the Best Lawyers publication and one of the best lawyers under 40 by D Magazine. She is a tireless advocate. She tracks bills, educates the community about upcoming, usually bad bills, and travels to Austin to rally and testify. She is a past president of the Dallas LGBT Bar Association and speaks frequently on how workplaces can be supportive and welcoming to the LGBT community, and she makes our profession better. I'm a lawyer too. Thank you, Callie. She is brave. She ran for Congress in 2024, which takes courage and commitment. We are grateful for folks who are willing to step up and run. She is generous. She and her partner host fundraisers for great causes in their beautiful home. She is a mother to 2 adorable sons, and she graciously donated her time to come here tonight to educate us about the upcoming constitutional amendments. Welcome, Callie. Obstacle course.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. So I'm Callie Butcher, and I'm just going to jump right into it. We're going to walk through these one by one. There's 17 of them. I'm going to try and move fast on some of the ones that I think are no-brainers, and we'll go through a little bit more detail on the ones that maybe are not, and then hopefully leave some time for questions. So the first one, Prop 1, this is funding for the Texas State Technical College system. I think this is a no-brainer. Texas is in desperate need of skilled workers who go to technical schools rather than having to attend, full universities. And this provides a distinct funding source for that college system, which does not exist currently. Currently, the Texas State Technical College is severely underfunded as compared to the rest of the higher education public schools in Texas. If we go to Prop 2, so Prop 2 is a proposed ban on the capital gains tax. This is completely unnecessary. Texas doesn't currently have a tax on capital gains for individuals, families, estates, and trusts. Yes, so this is really something designed to benefit wealthy individuals, people who have significant investments. And this ban, by putting it into the Constitution, it's a permanent provision that's being proposed, really guards the wealthy forever and takes away a revenue source for future legislators should they need to adjust our tax code. Yep. Okay, let's go to Prop 3. So Prop 3, this is a mandatory bail denial for certain crimes. And these are what they consider like violent crimes, murder, other things like that. I recommend you vote no on this. So Texas, the Constitution actually guarantees the right to bail, but judges have a lot of leeway when they set bail. So judges can effectively deny bail by setting it at extraordinarily high amounts. So judges already have this discretion when they think that it's a public safety concern, but this takes it out of the judge's hand and puts everybody who's been accused of one of these crimes, they're not convicted. We have the presumption of innocence. This overrides that and says, nope, you have to remain in jail in the entire pretrial period. I think that's a miscarriage of justice, and I would suggest you vote no on this one.
No keeps them in jail.
No allows the judge's discretion to give them bail, which means if they think that there's not actually a public safety concern, they can give bail.
Hey, Colin.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Can I just add a little something to this one?
Yep.
Okay, so one of the crimes that mandatorily would be denied bail is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That is shooting somebody, very bad, not good at all, or threatening someone with a deadly weapon. And a deadly weapon can be any object in life. So police officers, as a rule, kind of don't like bail. And so a police officer's discretion can turn an assault, a misdemeanor assault by threat, into an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon where you can't have bail until trial. And that could be 8, 9, 13 months from now. If a police officer alleges that a person held any object.
Yeah.
So this is really a tax on big cities. It would crowd our jail to the point of failure, and it would keep our judges from being able to sort through the BS. And honestly, a lot of these turn out to be, some of it is like, that didn't happen, but a lot of it is like, we sobered up and we're back in love, and there's no, honestly. So this is gonna make things really, really bad for Dallas and Tarrant and Harris counties and Bexar County. It's not gonna be that big a deal for rural places that have more jail space, and so it's tailor-made to really stick it to blue counties. This one is a wolf frankly, in my opinion, wolf's clothing, but it doesn't matter. Vote no on this big time.
Yeah, I agree. No, that's excellent points. And exactly as you said, in law school, in crim law, you talk about what is assault with a deadly weapon. And is a coffee cup a deadly weapon? Is, you go through objects and it's, these are real questions that actually affect people. So let's go to Prop 4. So Prop 4 is the establishment of a water infrastructure fund. This, again, I think is a no-brainer. Texas is growing. Texas is running out of water. We don't have the infrastructure we need. This sets up a fund that would fund out of sales tax revenue only above a certain threshold. So we have to reach, I think, it's $45.6 billion in sales tax revenue. At that point, the next $1 billion goes into this water fund. It helps fund infrastructure to give drinking water, but it also has provisions protecting current groundwater drinking water so that we don't tap those resources using these new infrastructure pumps and pipes. I think this is an obvious choice. Yep. Question?
My question is, does this extend as far as providing funding and encouragement for building new reservoirs in places that some of us have been fighting against having new reservoirs, like the Nichols Reservoir in Texas?
I need to go back and read it, but I think yes. I think the restriction on not doing anything with drinking water would be on existing aquifers and reservoirs. So I'd have to check. Yeah. This is mainly about transport of water from place to place so that we can get it to places that are growing and need more water.
Maybe we just need to get better in serving the water that we already have.
I think that's certainly true. I will say this is a step in the right direction. It underfunds what we expect we actually need, but this is what's on the table right now, and I still think we should vote yes on this one. Prop 5. So Prop 5, this is the no tax on animal feed. This is one of those ones that I think, depending on who you talk to, they'll tell you to vote no or yes. I'm going to suggest you vote yes. So the reason is the way the animal feed industry works, animal feed sits in the silos at the exact same time as we would be going around appraising inventory for taxation, which means the animal feed gets taxed at like its highest amount of leftover inventory. And those taxes then get passed on to farmers, ranchers, other people, and ultimately onto us in the food we buy at the store. So by removing tax on animal feed, we alleviate the costs for farmers and ranchers and ultimately potentially costs for our pocketbook at the grocery store, which I think we all, you never know if someone's going to gouge, right? But it gives the opportunity for the prices at the grocery store to go down. So I would suggest you vote yes on this one for those reasons. All right, Prop 6. Yeah. Okay, so this is a ban on taxes on stock trades, among other taxes around the stock trading industry. This has really been precipitated by the fact that we are currently trying to build a stock market here in Texas. But as part of that, Republicans want to not promise that we won't tax hedge funds, stock traders, stock operators on the profits they're getting from tax sales, or from stock sales. So vote no on this. This is again a clear benefit for the wealthy, something that's going to move the tax burden from poorer people or from richer people to poorer people here in Texas. And we should be voting no on this one. Prop 7. So this is a homestead exemption for veteran spouses. There's already some exemption for veteran spouses in Texas. This extends it. So there was an act at the federal level in 2022, which extended veterans benefits for spouses of veterans who died from a service-related condition. These are things about like being exposed to like radiation, being exposed to Agent Orange, things like this. So those people now qualify under this regardless of whether their spouse was 100% disabled or less than 100% disabled, if your spouse died of a service-related condition, then you qualify for a homestead exemption on the property. So that is what this does. It increases the value of their homestead exemption, and I think it's an obvious yes for me. I will note this is a temporary, so some constitutional amendments are temporary. This one's set to expire in 2027. Yes, it's only 2 years, so they'll have to renew it if they want to. Good question. Yeah. Proposition 8, estate and gift tax ban. Again, Texas doesn't have an estate and gift tax currently. Technically, the Constitution does allow us to have one, but this amendment would say that we could never have an estate or gift tax in Texas. So again, this benefits people who have large estates, exactly, billionaires, multimillionaires, people who have wealth. That's who this benefits. And again, it shifts that tax burden from the rich who should be paying the tax to working people. So easy one, oppose. The estate tax? Yeah, so we don't have one here. There are federal estate taxes, and then other states do it differently than us. But in Texas, we don't have one.
All we're trying to do is lay the groundwork so they can do this later.
Well, no, so yes, so they're trying to prevent people from doing it later. Yes. Oh, yeah, I mean, I think when they're thinking about homestead exemptions, that's pretty typical. I think we need to reassess where we are on property taxes, and it's a major revenue source for Texas. We don't have a state income tax. So I think a lot of times they want to assess how much that homestead exemption should be, and that's why they make it temporary. But, I mean, I think for things like that, right, it seems like, why would we change our minds here? Yes, it does. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So Prop 9. So this exempts certain business equipment from tax. This helps small businesses. It's really a shift too in the way we think about a business tax exemption for business owners. This allows up to $125,000 in value of equipment used for the production of income to be exempted from your taxes. Previously, we had a sort of exemption, but it exempted administration cost for filing and paying taxes, which is like a really difficult thing for businesses to track, report. This makes it much simpler. It reduces overhead costs, and it helps small businesses by increasing the exemption overall. So this is, I think, a no-brainer as well. And I would vote yes. And this is a permanent change. Okay, Prop 10. Yeah, collective items. So all of your business property that you're using for the production of income. Okay. Prop 10, tax relief for fire victims. So this is pretty straightforward. It's a temporary tax relief for rebuilding after a fire. It entitles a owner of a residence homestead, so it has to be the home you live in, not one of your other 3 homes in Paxton. It allows a exemption for a part of the appraised value if your home is destroyed by a fire and it was uninhabitable for 30 days, or at least 30 days after the date the fire occurs, and then you're entitled to, when you re-inhabit it, an exemption for the part of the year that you were not able to inhabit the house. So it just gives some relief as people are rebuilding their homes. Not floods, this is fire only. 11. This is property tax reduction for elderly homeowners, elderly being 65 and older. Yeah, I will say I think my parents would probably object to being called elderly, but that's okay. So this increases the school tax exemption from 10,000 to 60,000. So it's a big help there. Yeah. No, it will not. So currently we have a surplus, and under this, it says that the state has to backfill anything that comes out in this exemption has to get backfilled from the surplus at the state. So that's already budgeted for, so it does not affect the money in the schools. Any other questions? So the actual ballot language is here on each one of these slides. So yeah, it's longer here. You could take your notes. It has to be a printed or written note, not your electronic device. But yes, yeah, you can download a sample ballot. You can fill it out yourself at home, and then you can just copy it over. Oh, do we have one here? Oh, we have one right here. Yep.
I have a sample ballot and it's missing 2 ballots on there.
It's missing them?
It like goes 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Texas. Yeah, right here.
Interesting. These should be on everyone's ballots.
Yeah.
Okay, do we want to go to the next one? Okay, so Prop 12, this is a change to the way we do judicial oversight. I'm recommending no on this one. So what this does really is it changes how we select people for the Judicial Oversight Committee. It takes away appointments that the State Bar Board currently does, and it gives those appointments to Governor Abbott. Yeah, so it also says that it reduces the number of people on that oversight committee who have to be judges or attorneys. So it allows you to have people who are just political appointees who can punish people for maybe not doing what they want you to do. So this will politicize judicial oversight, and we should vote no on this. Prop 13, so this is school tax relief for homeowners. In the prior legislative session, we increased the exemption up to 100,000, and this increases it further to 140,000 for homeowners. So it lowers property taxes for homeowners, helps with affordability for first-time home buyers. Again, this is also temporary, only for the next 2 years, and it have to be renewed. Again, just like with the school tax for exemption for the elderly, the backfill happens from the surplus for this exemption. So it should not affect school funding. Yep. Yes, 2 years. Is the elderly tax exemption also temporary? And I said, yes, it's also the same 2 years. So opposition to this, there are some people who say, oh, go ahead. Oh, so some people are opposed to this, and I will say why. One is it doesn't provide any sort of help for renters. And I think that is significant, and we should consider that, especially as a democratic or progressive organization. We should consider that. This shifts the tax burden further onto renters by providing an exemption to homeowners. So do with that what you will. I'm still recommending that we vote yes. but that is a consideration that I think is worth mentioning.
Is the backfill automatic for the surplus?
Yes, it is.
Because I can see the GOP using this in order to defund schools.
It's already part of this amendment and the enabling legislation that the backfill happens. Yep.
And what happens when the surplus is no longer a surplus?
Yes, so that is a valid concern. We don't have that issue in the next 2 years, but if we're going forwards,
Further down the line.
right? So this expires after 2 years, though. So we could. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, I'm just always thinking, they've got long-term plans to dismantle.
They do.
Education, and we ought to know that that's what's happening. And some of these are actual, it's possible that these are ways to get to what they want.
Yes, I will say this is a wildly bipartisan proposal, as was the expansion last time. So it is, I think, yes, tax relief is generally bipartisan, but I think the surplus will not run out within 2 years. I do think that's a valid concern, and probably will be a reason we can't extend this permanently. Any other questions, or I'll move on to the next one. Okay, so Proposition 14. This is focused on dementia research. So it creates the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas, and it establishes a fund to fund that research. This, again, is coming out of the surplus. It provides $3 billion to fund dementia research. Dementia is a huge problem in Texas and across the country. We have an aging population that's now also experiencing more dementia than we ever have in the past. Texas, I think the number one, dementia is the leading cause of death in the United States, and Texas ranks high among other states in Alzheimer's cases and deaths. Sorry.
I think that is something that should be federally funded, but the other states have dedicated funds for specific ailments, illnesses, and does Texas have any other illnesses or ailments that we set aside state funding?
Yes, and yes. And I also agree it should be federally funded, but I think famously we are unfunding research at the federal level right now, defunding. I think, people who are critics of this would say, is this the best use of our money right now? Couldn't we be putting this money into schools? If you don't fund this, there is not extra money that goes to schools. That is not on the table currently. The session is over. This is what's on the table. So this provides this. It's not a permanent, we're not going to be allocating $3 billion on a yearly basis. This is like one time $3 billion, and then there's $300 million that goes into the fund for every half year for the next 2 years, and then there's no more funding unless they add more in the next legislative session. So it's a very temporary, very tight amount of money that is here, but I think it's for a very important cause, and that's why I would recommend yes.
I would guess that those research institutes are related to universities, right?
Well, so this is a separate research institute, separate from the universities. So some people would say that, yeah, your universities could cover this. This is separate. It's dedicated. It's state funded. It's completely separate, specifically for dementia research.
Sorry, Callie, this research is not being done at a university?
They may contract out, but this is a separate institute.
You know who's behind it? Yeah, who's behind that?
It doesn't exist yet.
Somebody's pushing.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Okay, let's go to Prop 15. Okay, so Prop 15, this is adding parental rights to the Texas Constitution, which this is definitely, yes, so parental rights are already guaranteed. They're not explicitly stated in the Constitution, but we have a long history of court decisions that guarantee parental rights. It's one of your fundamental rights. And it's something in Texas we give a ton of priority to. This, though, is something that comes on the heels of really the Republican push to use parental rights to affect what we teach in our schools, to affect what medical care our children can get, or that they can choose not to give to children, to affect, whether you can send your child to conversion therapy or not. All of these types of things are covered under the parental rights, and so they want to add this. I would say vote no. It's really has bad intent written all over it. Yep. Yeah, so what I mean by that is not for myself. I mean, Republicans want parental rights for themselves to push Christian nationalist viewpoints, to push, heterocentric white viewpoints on people. And they want to be able to ban anything different than that from schools using parental rights. They want to ban anything different than what they want in medical care using parental rights. And they've been very successful doing that in the courts already. And they just want this to be even stronger.
Another area that this has a big impact on is the foster care system, and it prevents children from being removed from dangerous situations. The legislature has changed language in the last 2 sessions where it makes it very hard for CPS, and that's now privatized in Dallas County, to move children from dangerous situations unless they're in imminent and immediate danger. It's coming from these backers of parental rights.
Right, and then they've continued to pass legislation session after session that defines, what is and is not child abuse, allowing actions they would like to take to make children conform to their viewpoints as something that's okay, and then saying that anybody who's helping expand their child's mind is somehow abusing their child. Indoctrination, exactly. So I would vote no on this. I think it's pretty clear. All right, Prop 16, citizenship for voting. You already have to be a U.S. citizen to vote. This is already required. The Texas Constitution already requires this. The election code already requires this. This is BS. That is 100% for them to go out and promote that Democrats are against, or want to allow non-citizens to vote. It's BS, and I would still vote no on this one for sure. Okay. Yeah, so this one provides tax breaks to people, or property owners along the border who are assisting the Texas government or the U.S. government in building border wall, border security, installation of cameras, whatever it may be. So if your property is being used for that and you're allowing them to use it for that, you get an extra property tax exemption.
So if your land is sinking because they want to this apply here?
So your question is if it's taken by eminent domain, then it's not your property anymore. No, this is for people who voluntarily let it happen.
Not incentivize them to do this. Yeah.
And that is the last one. So I think there are. So there are summary sheets I know that are spread through. Yep, go ahead.
Do me a favor and explain an overview of how we get to vote on these. In other words, why, for instance, the funding issues don't take place within regular legislation. So why do we get to see these? How does it happen?
Okay, so that's a good question. So I will say most of these have what's called enabling legislation. That's stuff that Oh, so the question was, can you explain why we get to vote on these as opposed to other funding issues that happen at the legislature that we don't get to vote on as citizens of the state? So most of these have what's called enabling legislation. That means that there was something passed at the legislature that provides the actual like funding budget requirements for this, but those are contingent, but they're trying to take an action that currently is not allowed by the Texas Constitution. So that funding that's been passed already is contingent on these passing. Things that require constitutional amendment in Texas require a vote of the citizens of Texas. And so that's why we get to vote, is these are actually amending the Constitution to allow the legislature to enact something that currently is not allowed by the Texas Constitution.
Questions? Hi, what are your reasons for those
Sorry.
No, and we have someone speaking at the end of the evening about the League of Women Voters Guide, so we'll touch on that later. But yeah, no, because they're purely nonpartisan, so they're going to show both sides. Whereas
Yeah, they may have some overlap, but I didn't look at theirs, so I don't know what theirs says. Yeah. Oh, so they do list them. If you want to know exactly what they are, I can tell you. Where would you find it? You can find it in the language of the constitutional amendment. Where did I have that resource? Yeah, so it's the crimes are murder, capital murder, aggravated assault, aggravated kidnapping, aggravated robbery, aggravated sexual assault, indecency with a child, trafficking of persons, and continuing trafficking of persons.
y'all have any more questions?
Aggravated assault. Yep.
That's an Allison question.
Okay, so an assault, if I.
Do you want the mic?
Sorry. See this man right here? He's so handsome. Don't we love him? If I punch him in the face, that's an assault. If I threaten to punch him, that's an assault. Those are both misdemeanors. If I shoot him or use a deadly weapon, that's an aggravated assault, even if I only threaten. But if I cause him serious bodily injury, which is to say something that changes him for life, like he doesn't have an eye anymore or an arm or something like that, you don't know. I have skills. Maybe I know karate. You don't know. Doesn't matter. I don't have skills. But then that's aggravated assault. An assault can be aggravated by a deadly weapon or causing serious bodily injury. And the issue that I take is that a deadly weapon could be threatening with any object at all. If Anything in the whole world could be a deadly
Throwing
weapon.
something at ice.
A protester throwing something, any item, yeah, that could be a deadly weapon. It can that's the one that has the most potential to metastasize is deadly weapon. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for putting this together. I love your slides. Are we going to have a chance to maybe have the slides?
Yeah, they can have the slides. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go now.
Okay.
Thank you, darling. Thank you so much, Callie Butcher. We loved having Callie as a candidate a few years back, and we hope she'll run again. So yes, we'll post this deck in total. We'll get her slides and also this handy little sheet that we made. We have some printed here, but we do have them on our website. You just go to txfeds.com. Is that right? txfeds.com and go to our election alert page. There, if you scroll down, there's all of this stuff is in there. We even put Callie's, like her written reasonings in there on that page, and you can share the page with anyone. And we're also going to put it in the newsletter, and we'll share it on social media, so it will be everywhere. I will say that we currently consider this a draft just because we wanted to get through this meeting and hear everyone's questions. So we may make changes. I don't know. We'll discuss as a group tomorrow, and then we'll get it out in the newsletter, so everyone will get to see that soon.
Sorry, one quick recommendation.
Yeah.
There were a lot of questions about whether or not it was temporary or limited.
Mm-hmm.
I think adding that back into it probably help.
Okay, so you want us to add some info on which things were temporary?
Well, that
Could someone write that down?
the questions here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Changes a lot of
It does, yeah, on the thing. And then I'll just say I'm a no on all of it just because I don't trust anything they do. So that's where I am. That's where I am. You guys do your way. But that's how I feel personally. And then I wanted to just cover real quick. We've got so much going on right now. There's the weekly Defend Democracy protests that Beth started, Saturdays and Sundays. They're super fun. Good way to get out some rage and make some new friends. And we're pretty nice as far as signs go.
We're doing Saturday.
Yes, Saturdays and Sundays now. Woohoo! No, Saturdays is Mockingbird and Abrams by the Joannes, and Sundays is near the Chase at Garland and Buckner. Yeah, 80 people on Sunday. It's amazing. It keeps growing. Well done, everyone. And then save the date for Saturday the 18th. We're all going to go to the No Kings protest, and we will be getting out info about riding together on the train like we like to do. Makes it much easier to get downtown on the train when we all go together. So we'll get that info out in the next week. And then our next meetings we have on the 4th of November, the redistricting update. I think I can say, right, that we might have a special guest we all really like coming by. Yeah, I think our TDP chairman, Kendall Scudder, is going to come give us an update. So that'll be a great update. We'll have some other experts as well. So we'll get a good update on the status of all of the cases suing away those damn racist maps. And then don't miss our holiday party, which is Tuesday, December 3rd. It's going to be here. Actually, both of those meetings are here. This is here and this is here. It's our 9th annual holiday party. And we're also having our annual Fetties Awards, which is super fun. Just giving out awards to local organizers who deserve it. And I think that's all I have. Oh, no, wait. I wanted to show. We have new T-shirts in our bonfire store. We have on our website, in our shop on our website, we have our local T-shirts, which we print locally here at a union shop, and there are some here, I believe. We're almost out of T-shirts that we have here locally, but we have those. Then we also have this bonfire store because it has millions and millions more T-shirts.
Cute FD T-shirts.
Yeah, we've got lots of Fuck Donald Trump T-shirts. So they're kind of sneaky. You maybe don't see it when you first look at it, but there's some hidden FDTs in there. So because that's how we feel. That's how we get through life right now.
I think that's it. That is it.
When's the election?
That's what I was supposed to talk about was the election. So if you go to our website, we do have a guide on there. There's also the Dallas Democrats election guide, and I mean, there's millions of election guides. But voting starts on Monday, October 20th. So make your plan to vote that week if possible. That's that first week of early voting. There is also weekend voting. That's Saturday and Sunday, 25th and 26th, I think. And then it ends, early voting ends on October 31st, so on Halloween, the next Friday. And then election day is Tuesday, the 4th of November. The same day that we have our party, yep. Yep.
Just one more thing about early voting that's changed. We used to begin counting early voting the day early voting ended. Now we can tally the number of ballots, not count how they're dispersed until election day.
No, they can't come through. I think we should do it.
The volume of work that's going to take place on election day that previously we would be doing Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's just something else to be aware of.
So what happens at 24-hour period? If votes are not counted in that 24-hour period, what happens to those votes? And how do you make sure that they aren't excluded?
We keep counting.
How do you do it in 24 hours? It's a
big question mark, especially for the counties that have decided to do can count. We're not counting their ballots.
We're not hand counting their ballots. Yep, there was another question over there. Yep.
Are they going to be available for anyone at the voting location? Will there be anyone providing any kind of material? Are we working on that? Or is that something?
Well, so thank you for asking that. We do usually do feds poll partying and have volunteers running poll parties just like that to offer that information to voters when they arrive. But it is really hard to staff those because it's volunteers. And most of us in the operations team are quite thin right now. But yes, we will share it on social media for sure. And in our newsletter, if we're going to ask people to sign up and take shifts. We have a whole kit. So if people can just take shifts, we could drop off the kit to you. And we usually do it at Samuel Grand or at Lockwood. Those are our two spots we usually cover. Yeah, go vote party. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those elections where we know like 5 people will vote. So any way to get some people to vote with you is a great idea. I love that idea. We like to do like a weekend, have a brunch at your house and then everyone goes and votes together and everyone's got their little sheet with them because you can print them up. I feel like there was something else I was meant to talk about. I know candidates. Go again. Yes. We're going to send it in the newsletter, and it is on our website already. Yeah, feel free to print it. Anyone who wants lists to walk in your precinct, we will pull you a list if you want to walk to houses in your neighborhood that you want to get out to vote and leave these as on their door. We can absolutely give people lists for their neighborhood. If people want to block walk. Next, we're going to get candidates to come up. I'm going to answer some more questions, but candidates, we're going to have each of you right over here. Yeah, we're going to share the PowerPoint. I should also just mention that we've started putting our newsletter on the website as well in our blog section because everyone loves our newsletter.
California's asking for people to text California.
Okay, yeah.
And also Virginia, they can, for the governor's race in Virginia.
So also we've been doing postcards for California, as was mentioned earlier. There are packets here if you want to send some postcards to California, asking voters to vote for Proposition 50, Prop 50. There's also an election in Virginia and another one, but people are seeking volunteers to do text banking, so we can hook you up. We'll put that in the newsletter again. We're going to take a few minutes to let each of our candidates who are here say hello to you guys, and then we're going to hear from the League of Women Voters. Ms. Grinter.
All right. Hi. I'm Allison. I'm running to be your next district judge. Y'all don't know me, so I'm going to take my time to gossip. So I have a nephew who lives in Granbury. He's a dear child, and he is the host at the 1890. It's delicious, by the way. It's the only fancy restaurant in Granbury. And he says to me, Allison, there's this dude that comes to the restaurant, and he comes in a white Rolls Royce, and he has like assistants that have to carry an umbrella for him because he cannot touch the sun. Love that. And he's not allowed, well, they've decided that he's not allowed to have lady waiters because he's always very inappropriate. Yeah, with the ladies. Yikes. And his extremely young wife never talks to him. She only like plays on her phone. And and when he saw me, he was like, "Oh," to the manager, "I didn't know you hired people of color." Granbury's different, y'all. Okay. And so I was like, "Oh, I feel like you just ran into Tim Dunn." And he was like, "Wait a minute, that sounds a little bit," and I pull up a picture and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's the dude. That's the dude right there." And first of all, applaud me for being able to pick out Tim Dunn from a story just about some asshole. But second of all, this is the kind of weirdo we're dealing with, right? And so I'm running to be your next district judge. That's just a story I wanted to tell. It has nothing to do with anything. And here you go. What's up, Cynthia Garza?
Hi, everybody. My name is Cynthia Garza. I am running to be the next judge of the 363rd Judicial District Court. That is a felony court here in Dallas. And so it's a countywide bench. So if you live in Dallas, you can vote for this bench. CynthiaGarzaforJudge.com to learn more about me. I'm currently the Chief Prosecutor of the Conviction Integrity Unit of the District Attorney's Office. So all of the exonerations that come out of the county, that's the unit that I run. I've been a part of that unit for over 15 years and have worked on the majority of the exonerations that have come out of the county. I've been a criminal lawyer for more than 20 years. And so I hope to earn each and every one of your votes. Thank you so much.
Hey, good evening, everybody. First of all, let me say thank you for putting on such an informative presentation to the Funky Democrats and then to Callie and everybody here. So my name's Hector Garza. I'm the presiding judge, the current presiding judge of the 195th Judicial District Court. I've been on the bench since 2016. In 2016, the precinct chairs for the Democratic Party gathered at State Hall back at Fair Park, and they elected me to be the nominee for the November election that year. So I've always taken upon myself to go above and beyond. It's a criminal bench, the 195th, above and beyond to let all the people that opened doors for me, all the precinct chairs that voted for me, to make to let them know that I appreciate what they've done. I work 110%. So every Tuesday I have a drug court on Tuesday evenings where I help people, first-time felony offenders, get drug treatment, and if they complete that program, it's the divert court here in Dallas County, and if they complete that program, that felony gets expunged off the record, the arrest gets off the record, because people without records get better jobs, let them go to college and so forth, so we understand that. So somebody asked me, I was telling somebody the other day, and I've been doing this, I'm going on my 8th year, somebody asked me, well, how much extra do you get paid for that? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? I don't get paid extra. I'm there from court on Tuesdays from 8 to about 4:30. My staffing starts at 4:30 and we'll go to about 8:30. I left court a little bit earlier today so I can come be with y'all, but it's every Tuesday for the last almost 8 years. Because I volunteer that time, I've saved the county thousands of dollars in judicial salaries. But that's the least of it. We've changed hundreds of lives through drug treatment, people who've gone on to be better for our community, productive members, and so forth. But it also translates into saving lives. You know, it's just not a matter of like getting the treatment, but it saves lives. So we know the number of people who pass away from overdoses and so forth. It's JudgeHectorGarza.com is my website, and Cynthia is my wife. We met at law school. I saw the SMU hat, so go, you know, ponies. Born and raised here in Dallas. I grew up in Oak Cliff, but I lived in East Dallas, off of Lafayette, Carroll down there, and then I also lived in Love Field. So my parents moved around a lot. First generation Mexican American. First in my family to graduate high school, go to college, and went to SMU. So thank you for your time.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tiffany Baker, and I am running for County Criminal Court number 1. I started as a prosecutor. I am currently a defense attorney. I'm also a precinct chair, and I was most recently an associate with the city, but when you run for office, you have to resign. But, you know, anything that's worth having is worth sacrificing for it. So if you have questions for me, I don't mind answering those questions. I am running for a very deeply personal reason, and this has been a road that I've been on for the past 20 years. I have a brother that has been in and out of the system, and so I know firsthand what it's like when you put somebody on that path and how hard it is to get them out and how their family is with them every step of the way.
Yeah.
And I am running so that I can be the type of judge that my brother needed, because I don't want courtrooms to be revolving doors. And you do that by looking at every case and giving people opportunities who need it to go back on the right path, consequences where it's needed, and just common sense and following the law. So again, my name is Tiffany Baker, and I'm running for County Criminal Court number 1. Thank you.
And last but not least, hi y'all, my name is Maureen Alexander, and I'm running for Criminal District Court number 5. It is a district court bench in Dallas County. I have lots of experience on both sides. I was a prosecutor for Dallas County, and then I currently have my own defense practice. I have for the last 20 years. I'm board certified in criminal law. I've done all kinds of trials, and I am running because I think I can do an excellent job serving you. The citizens of Dallas County, we are informed, we're educated. We spend our nights, our evenings, our time trying to make this county and this state a better place. And I would like to continue that in serving on the bench. I grew up in Houston. I moved to Dallas to go to SMU Law School. And then I am a first generation Indian American. My parents immigrated here from India. So, you know, we are truly living the American dream, and I appreciate everyone that wants to support and encourage that dream, not only for myself, but for all our future candidates and citizens. So I look forward to getting to know you, and I'm here to answer any questions, and I hope to earn your vote. Thanks so much.
Good evening, Fed and community. I am Marilyn Mays, presiding judge of County Criminal Court number 1, and I need you to understand, I'm a Rachel Maddow kind of Democrat, just so you know. I have been a precinct chair for 25 plus years and an election judge. I'm in the community every day. I'm in this Democratic community because these are our lives we're talking about. And I want to applaud the Fed for the work that you've done for Colin Allred, the work that you've done for Julie Johnson. We see you. We wish all communities were in it to win it when we see your dedication. So don't think we don't see you, because we see you. I tell people that I live in the house that I was born on. It'll probably be on my death certificate as well. I'm real Dallas, okay? And just knowing what being a judge meant to my community, what it meant to our people, all people. I tell people there's real justice in County Criminal Court number 1. We don't care if you have that $100,000 lawyer or if you have a public defender, because I have real good public defenders. and we work to see that everybody gets justice. It's kind of disheartening when we see what Abbott is doing to the bail bond process, because you're penalizing people and you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. But that is not the mindset that he's sending forth. So we all understand that we're at war. We got to get our war gear on and we got to get out the vote. But just know that County Criminal Court number 1 is about the people, about all people of Dallas County. I'm running for re-election and I'd appreciate your support.
Thank you, Judge Mays. I think that's all the candidates we are going to hear about League of Women Voters. Just wanted to remind again, damn it, I broke something. It's one of my specialties.
I didn't see nothing. Never happened.
Don't forget to tip the servers. They take such good care of us, and they are both feds. Thank you, feds. And please tip the feds. We've got our jars. We've got a jar over there by the food, I think. And we've got QR codes if you don't have cash. It takes money to print all this stuff and to do all the stuff that we do to hold these events. Yeah, tacos aren't free. That's true. And happy Taco Day, everyone. National Taco Day. Was there anything else? Oh, another candidate. My state representative, John Bryant, is here. Candidate for representative. Would you like to say a few words, please?
Oh, it's great to see everybody. It's got to be someplace where everybody has the same concern about the country.
Yes.
Like we can hug each other or something. I've never been through a time as bad as this one for our country. I'll tell you what, and I think the only speech that I would make would be that we just have to keep on keeping on. We got to keep the faith. We got to work through this. We got to stick together. We got to be courageous. We got to have a little bit of faith that we're going to find our way through this, and I'm sure we will. Thanks very much.
Thank you for coming, Representative Bryant. He's been a stalwart fighting for us at the House, so we really appreciate him. Passing it on.
Hi, everyone. My name is Norma Ratia. I'm with League of Women Voters of Dallas. Thank you. And I just want to tell you about the League of Women Voters of Texas website. That's where we have the explainer videos of the Texas constitutional amendments. And we heard here the progressive side of it. But if there's, at work or at church or your neighborhood group or somewhere where you need to be nonpartisan, you can share our resources as well, because we have the ballot language, a translation to English, because not all of us are lawyers, and pros and cons of each amendment. So yeah, go to the League of Texas, not the League of Women Voters of Dallas, but the state league. We also have a translation into Spanish, Vietnamese, and Chinese. So tell your coworkers, your friends of all these other languages that are available. And also direct them to vote411.org, where they can actually put in their address. Most of us here in Dallas, we don't have candidates to vote for in November, but Garland, Mesquite, and other cities do have, or I think in Collin County there's a proposition. So if they put in their address, they can see all the amendments and the candidates. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Norma. Okay, we're going to close it out. We've got a few more minutes to mingle. Again, don't forget to donate, and don't forget to get out the vote. The election is basically here, right? October 20th, make your plan to vote. Make sure everyone you know is planning to vote. Because, right, no one votes in these elections, so our vote has a lot of weight. Let's get some votes going, guys. Go team.